this is going to be a brief overview of the project management suite which you want built. And before I proceed, just note that what I'm about to show is essentially what I have built at the moment, and of course it can always be customized to fit seamlessly with your current processes and even be optimized to make things more efficient than they are right now. So first things first, what we'll do is to go to the dashboard. Everything is on the sidebar. This is just the home page. Now on the dashboard, or the home page, which is up here, you can see that everything has been demarcated into the different days as relates to task management, and you can also see a representation of that under tasks. So when you toggle it off, you see today's tasks, tomorrow 7 days, 30 days, and once you click them, you would see the necessary tasks for that day. So the same thing goes with milestones, and the same thing goes for projects as well. So these are just the different departments of my life, and there are different projects that are under them. And I would say that's the basics of it at the moment. And going back to the dashboard, when you go down, you can see this tasks calendar. In your case, it can become it can be repurposed to a content calendar, and this is just a vision board, and it helps me organize my my projects. And we will be going to before we proceed, we will be going to look at, these are the major things that will be the major features that we'll be looking at regarding this project management template. So we'll be talking about how this template helps to avoid date scheduling conflicts and automatic updates of task statuses, so you don't have to do them manually, because tasks can get really populated in pretty much any project management setup or setting. We'll also look at this synchronized progress. We'll look at the wiki and personnel management. That is for, you mentioned client spaces, client portals, or front-facing portals, I guess. So we'll briefly look at each and every one of this. So going to the date scheduling conflicts, what I would do is I would just go to the place where all the databases have been organized. So generally, how I work with these things is that I put all the databases that power the workspace, I put them in one place, so that if anything needs to be edited, it can all be edited in one place, and you know where the original databases are. And from there, we can always just copy and paste we can copy any database we need and paste them anywhere on maybe the dashboard and stuff like that. But these are the original databases. So as you can see from here, I've organized everything into long-term organization, so goals, sub areas, and life areas, milestones, projects, sprints, and tasks. So looking at life areas, and the vision board is kind of related to the life areas and the long-term organization. So remember, we're about to talk about date scheduling conflicts, but to get to that, or to better understand that, I want to show you how everything is linked together. So for the spiritual life, which is an area, and we have mind, soul, body, we have financials, relationships. In your case, it could be the different departments in your business, and from here you can see 3 sub areas. So when you open any of the areas, you would see the sub areas that are assigned to each of them, and those sub areas are all here. So when you tag a sub area, you would discover that when you tag a sub area to any of these areas, you would see that it's attached here. So 5 sub areas, 2 sub areas, and stuff. Now each of the sub areas themselves have their goals, their objectives, key results, and stuff like that. And from there you can relate them to these goals here. So I have grouped them according to, these are the goals. So if you notice, I'm going from down to up, from the biggest picture, and we are gradually subgrouping them. So under spiritual life, we're going to under the areas, we can see the sub areas, and each of these sub areas has goals. So you can see things like personal work, health, fitness, memory mastery. And so when you would see that all the goals related to each of the each of the sub areas are highlighted here. And so each of those goals now has an associated project, and so you can see the related projects here. So it's all showing 0 now because this is a demo version that is in use at the moment. However, when you go to the medium-term organization, that's where you'll be able to find the projects. And so talking about the scheduling conflicts, this is what I was referring to. So whenever you create a project and you are trying to assign a task to it, it's sometimes you discover that maybe in the midst of all the multiple tasks or all the multiple projects, you might find that a date might not be assigned properly. It might be assigned outside the range of this project. In this case, the project is supposed to be between July 19th and August 29th. But if you see the remark of the conflict, it says that the project date must fall within the time frame of the related goal, which is June 26, 2023 and August 26. And so because this is the project which is July 19th to August 29th, I have to change this date to something before August 26th. So when you do that to, let's say, August 25th, you see that the conflict has disappeared. So that's the whole point. That's the whole idea of the scheduling conflict. So we don't just have this in the project area. You also have this in the milestones as well. So the milestones are the projects which are subdivided into milestones, and the milestones are further subdivided into tasks and sprints. So basically the conflict thing also works similarly in the way it works in the project area, also works similarly in the conflict area. But for the milestones, we would like to visit this status of the milestones, which is the second point, automatic update of task status. So rather than having to change in progress, maybe a task that is started or a task that is in progress or complete, instead of doing that, this has been set up in such a way that your only job would be to focus on completing tasks. So in the case of, I'll use the example of a task that has not been started. So we would use this one. Let's see, since it's 0%. So now if you notice, every task linked to this particular milestone is all showing as to do, which is undone, and the progress is 0%, and the status of the milestone is not started. So when we complete a task, you can also be looking at what is going on here. When you complete a task, let's say done, you notice it immediately changes to in progress, and the progress also shows 16.7%. And so when you keep increasing that, it will keep showing the percentage increasing. But when you finally complete it, notice it changes to complete. So this automatic updates ensures that you are not consistently having to go through making sure that you have updated the task to complete, and then making sure you have also updated the milestones, and also making sure you have updated the project. So as we are doing all of those, you notice that, let me to do this one. So notice that this date is changing. Why? Because this task is related to that milestone, and that milestone is related to this project. So everything is kind of linked together, and I'll drag it so that it all goes off. So notice even the project that is associated with completely goes back to 0. And now because I've put everything as to do, it has gone back to not started. And so that is it for status, task status. So I've already talked about the synchronized I think while explaining that, I inadvertently talked about the synchronized project of tasks, milestones, and projects. That is how these percentages move together within related milestones, related projects, and their associated tasks. So we've talked about these first 3. Then going to the wiki. Wiki is basically knowledge base for storing things like standard operating procedures, brand information, and basically anything that you want to store. And this is just one that we have here that I'll show you. So basically this is for a project, or rather a web design team. And if you look at when you open the WordPress library, you will discover that all the topics related to the WordPress library are synchronized here. And even if a topic is related to more than one team, it appears both here and on the team that in the folder of the team that that needs it. And it can always be searched. It can always be searched. The content can also always be searched through, excuse me. And for personnel management, you also mentioned that in the job description, in the post description. I'll use this as an example. So I just opened this workspace, and this is one of the a personnel that I've worked with, and you can see that this is his own dashboard. I'm showing you his dashboard so that it would be a simulation of how the client dashboard will look, the project manager's dashboard will look, your personal dashboards will look. So once he opens his dashboard or his workspace, he's able to see the project he's involved with. He's able to see his overdue tasks. He's able to see today's tasks and upcoming tasks, departments, and this department is also part of personnel management. So we are kind of seeing everything at the same time. So yeah, this and more. There are some more features, but this, I would say, I wanted to highlight this in order to keep things organized and focused for the sake of this video. So let me know what you think. This is a project that I would be excited to be a part of in collaborating with you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thanks.